It's coming up to May the 4th, so let's have some Star Wars content. Oh yeah. Roll credits. So this kit, as you can see, it's a Star Wars Rogue One issue, Star Destroyer. Overall, not a bad kit as far as I can tell, detail wise, for what it is, because it's obviously with the sound and light function, there has been some compromises. Plus, that's where the battery has to go, and that's the button for the sound. Also on this kit, you can possibly make out there, and there. They with sort of fold down legs, so you could stand it on a flat surface. Obviously, I've just filled them over, glued them up, and filled them over. Got a nicely detailed docking bay in there, and a forward docking bay. Plus, there's the slots for the sound to come out. All I did with this is basically put it together and paint it. It's pretty much a snap together kit, if I'm going to be honest, but I did glue it here and there. I'm going to make a stand out of some, not these, but I've got some ship stands like these that I'll make a stand, something like it, like this, put it on the base. What else to say? I think to finish this, it is not entirely finished. It was pre-shaded, sprayed over, let the pre-shade, all this detail show up. So I had a wash over it, and all it really needs now, I think it is a coat of matte varnish, and then it will be done. There's no decals or anything like that, obviously, because of the size of it, and I don't think Star Destroyer's ever had any decals. The one thing I would have liked to have done is get a miniature, come on focus, Millennium Falcon right on there, just to have a bit of fun with it. But I've got no idea how I'd achieve that. I thought of making a small circle, put a little piece on the side of it to represent the cockpit, try to paint it, but it probably wouldn't look too clever, so I've left it. But I'm happy with my Imperial Star Destroyer. Now this is the first of a few kits that I built a while ago, and so we'll have a look at those, I think. And I've also filmed some snippets of my Star Wars themed house. Say hello to Mr. Potato Head. All three of them. And another Star Wars kit that needs absolutely no introduction. Now this is a fine moulds 1/72 TIE Fighter. The absolute classic. And don't forget, if you look very closely at a lot of these kits, you can see parts of other kits that were made in the original screen props. That, I believe, is a wheel from some sort of armoured vehicle. But my favourite little part of a TIE fighter, if we can turn it right round and go right in as close as we can. Now they've faithfully reproduced the screen used prop, and in doing so they've faithfully reproduced, can you see it, a Sherman tank bogie, which forms part of the hinge that opens this back part, as I'm led to understand it. I'm sure if I look closer I'll see some more identifiable kit parts. It's not so much on this, if I'm honest, but the Y-wing certainly has a few, and the X-wing, a couple of recognisable parts here and there. So let's just pull you out. I should really have put this on the electric turntable. But yeah, fairly easy kit to build. The most complex part of this is actually that has a full interior, believe it or not, and a pilot in there. As we turn it around, and if I'm not mistaken, the cockpit windows and the top windows, the kit comes with masks for those, which is why I've got those nice and sharp. Now let me do my best to light up the cockpit and zoom in and see if you can see the pilot in there. He's there. No, we can't. Okay, never mind. So, on to the next Star Wars built kit. And surprise, surprise, it's another TIE variant. This is the TIE Interceptor. The cockpit and those arms that have the panels on are exactly the same as the previous one. All they've done with this is just given it different panels. Now these two kits, I actually got them direct from Japan. It turned out at that time it was cheaper for me to buy them straight from the manufacturer, from fine molds themselves, than it was to buy an imported one. Buy imported ones in this country. So we'll just zoom up. We have, of course, come on, focus. And of course, got the Sherman bogie on the back there. Again, some sort of wheel in the centre of that panel. Now these panels, they were not honestly too sure about this one, but the TIE Fighter, the standard TIE Fighter, it was made of three parts. You had the outer part, outer frames, the inner part, and then the inner frames. So you could paint them up really easily. I'm not too sure if this was the same. I think this might have been one piece. I've just had to paint it and mask it. The standard TIE Fighter, with it being sort of three part construction, made that very easy to paint. And I've just painted it in a rough approximation of grey that I just like the look of. A little bit of a wash to bring out a bit of detail. And again, this kit came with masks for the windows, which is why I've got those nice and sharp. and that's about it. Now, the interesting thing is the X-Wing and the Y-Wing, I bought those first. Then I got the two TIE fighters, but obviously the TIE fighters jumped the queue. The X-Wing and the Y-Wing still in the box, actually unbuilt, and I'll show you those in a little while. The X-Wing and the Y-Wing are still in the box, and I'll show you those in a little while. But for now, let's have a look at another kit.
But before that,
and what
some more
type of
memorabilia.
Star Wars vehicle could it be? That's right, it's another TIE fighter. Slightly different this time. This is a Revell click together version of Darth Vader's TIE X1 from the first film that you will instantly recognise. Not the best detailed kit, but it's a kit I've always wanted. I've always been keeping my eye out for a 1/72 proper kit version of this, because I love that film, that very first film. The reason Darth Vader as an experimental TIE fighter is, in the real world, they wanted to make Darth Vader's ship look different from the standard TIE fighters, and this is what they came up with. But apparently in the universe, this was developed into the TIE Interceptor that you've just seen, because you can see the sails are curved rather than flat, and it's got a little bit of the look of the TIE Interceptor, except those short panels are this side and you've got the missing center panel on the Interceptor. But yeah, this is pre-coloured, click together, bit of fun, and I'm happy with it. I've seen these kits, I'm sure I have. Someone detailed one of these, made a really nice job of it, but I've just slapped mine together, called it done, because that's the way I roll sometimes. Anything that looks like an obvious part from another kit as I'm going around, except possibly in the centre of that panel, because now it's out of focus, because of course it is. Yeah, that looks like it could be a wheel from a vehicle, but not sure. So that, I promise, is the end of the TIE fighters. So let's have a look at some of the stuff I've got in boxes, and just one more kit which is from the same Revell range as this that I'll just show you. And it is, of course, the Millennium Falcon. Same again, another little snap together Revell kit. Built this for fun. It comes pre-painted. Not a lot else to say about it, really. Bit disappointed with the radar dish being pointed straight up there. I don't know why they moulded it like that. I was in half of mine to oh, okay, right, it is on a hinge. Yeah, it's been a while since I've had a look at this, if I'm going to be honest. Does seem to have some sort of detail in there. I don't know if you can know what a beast this is to focus. There's something in there. Can't quite see what. But yeah, that's a couple of little fun builds. Right, and okay, now it's time for this to go back to Docking Bay 94, where it lives normally. And that's it for the built stuff. Now I've got some bits and bobs of unbuilt stuff that we can have a look at. Something else that needs no introduction whatsoever. The X-Wing Incom T-65 Space Superiority Fighter. Now, I bought this at a scale model world in Telford, maybe 2014, thereabouts. The place, the vendor that had bought them didn't really want to take them back, so they dropped the price late on, second day. So I got there and grabbed a couple, not a couple of these, a kit of this and a kit of a wiring, which is a kit I really wanted. So let's take this off. Clearly not built yet. A nice little stand. Should have mentioned both the TIE fighters have stands. I've separated them from their stands and I can't for the life of me remember where I put them. So here we have a decal sheet, a big decal sheet, a decal sheet that can be clean or battle damaged, which is very interesting. I don't know if I built this. I don't know which way I'd go. I'll probably go for the battle damage one, if I'm going to be honest. Set of instructions. Are these fully in Chinese? Are these fully in Japanese? So first thing, you get your astromech to go in the ship, and you also get a little astromech as a standing figure, and then cockpit, fuselage, engine parts, the wings, because it wouldn't be an X-wing without wings, more wings because it is an X-wing, landing gear if you want it up or down, and then finally you option to have it cockpit open or closed, a little ladder there. I'm very tempted to have this open. Figure in the, I keep nearly saying aircraft, figure in the spaceship, standing figure, all with the paint call outs, which is nice. Another set of decals, a decal sheet should I say. That is red leader, I'm guessing. Red 2. And it tells you the appropriate astromech to use. Red 3. And of course, red 5. Red 2. Red 2, if our memory serves, is Porkins. Probably one of the most famous of the X-Wing pilots on that fight against the Death Star. R.I.P. Porkins. I'd be very tempted to actually build Porkins as X-Wing rather than Luke's, but we'll see. Also, another nice touch is, not on here, but on here, I think you get transfers for the helmets of the pilots. Let me just check that. Let me just check that. Where are you? Yes, yes you do. They're very small, but they're there. 2, 3, and 4 are the helmet insignias. You also get R2-D2's a transfer for R2-D2's body and his head, and your astromech, which is nice. So let's have a look at the plastic, and as I'm saying that, I've realised that the clear parts are actually in the same bag as the decals, tucked in behind there, and they look, it's hard to tell, but they do look very nice and clear. So the plastic all still sealed up. Here we have wings, nacelles, engine parts, gun pod type parts on the end of the wings, whatever you want to call them, landing gear. Here's what I'm talking about, other kits. Now if you look at this engine nacelle there, what you seem to have there is a landing gear from a model aircraft. Don't know which one or what it could be, but it's definitely something like a Lancaster or a British heavy bomber is used there. Can't see anything else. So this next bag of sprues, I'll tell you what I've not actually seen is the little parts of the R2 unit. There's an R2 unit's head, which looks like R2-D2. And there's another R2-D2. These two parts are the same, mirrored obviously. That will need further investigation, I'm sure. There's the ladder. There's the two figures, seated and standing. Fuselage, more wings. And that's it, all looks not refined, recessed panel lines. This looks like it will be fun to build. So I shall put this back in a box and we'll have a look at the one I've been waiting to show you, because it is in fact my favourite ship from Star Wars, probably of all time if I'm going to be honest. And now my favourite. Now, if the X-Wing was roughly based on being a Spitfire, this is roughly based on being a Mosquito. I've always thought that. So, I'll say no more. All the info's on this box if you want to pause it and have a look at that. As for me, I can't wait to get this box open and show you what's in there. As I said before, this is my favourite Star Wars spaceship. maybe apart from the Star Destroyer. So first things first, another massive decal sheet for the size of the kit. And having had a look at the X-Wing, I can now see we got helmet insignias there, decals for R2 units, kill markings, another set of decals for a different R2 unit. That was possibly an R5, can never remember. Glazing again is in with the transfers, decals, whatever you want to call them. Looks okay. Might need a bit of a clean if I'm honest, but it's hard to tell through this plastic. So, and on the subject of plastic, we've got some big sprues, but let me just bear with me. I'm just going to get let's get all the paperwork out. Let's have a look at the paperwork first. So, we have a coloured, yeah, we have a coloured paint call out, gold leader, gold 2, gold 3. I'm not sure how they differentiated gold leader from the others on the aircraft, spaceship, because obviously the X-Wings had the coloured bars on there, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, but these I'm not seeing any difference, apart from there is a small yellow band on the front of the nacelles on gold leaders, and that's it. But that's nice to see and easy to follow. So the instructions, more stuff. Obviously it's all in Japanese, which I don't speak or read, but it's pictures, so it's pretty easy. So first step, cockpit goes together, pilot goes in. We've got a nice paint guide for the pilot. Cockpit top goes on. And we build the rear fuselage, which is going to be quite a complicated bit of building. Now, as I said on these kits about parts from other models being used in the screen props, if you look at that closely, you will see that that is the rear deck from a Tiger tank. No, on the back there, not a Tiger, that's a Panther. I apologise, I'm not up on tanks too much, but yeah, that's the rear part of the fuselage. There's a Tiger, I keep saying that. Panther, it's a Panther tank. And then we have various pipework and greeblies going on. And a good diagram to show you exactly how it should look when it is on. Step 11, more parts of the nacelles. See, that's nice. You put the panels on to this smooth cylinder. So I think that would let them put more detail onto there than they could onto the actual cylinder. Nacelles being finished, more pipe work. Another view of the Panther rear deck. There is on this kit somewhere, I can't remember where it is, two possibly 1/24 Spitfire, airfix Spitfire propeller hubs used. There's also, if you see that there, the same wheel from an armoured vehicle that we saw on the TIE fighters. More pipe work, more pipe work. The thrust deflectors going on. And then the cockpit top. Now we've got a clear piece and then a plastic piece, which should make life a bit easier in the painting. You stick your R2 unit in, as which R2 unit goes with which version you're building. Landing gear up or down, and finally put it on your stand. So let's have a look at the plastic. So the first bag, we've got our stand. They sell parts. I'm not going to open this. We've got two sprues that seem to be almost identical. In fact, they are. I'm sure they are. I can't. I don't want to start mixing them up and breaking stuff off. But yeah, we've got the arms for the thrust deflectors. The thrust deflectors, they sell parts. Pipe. There's a lot of that on this kit. What we got here then? The plastic cockpit, which the glazing part will, if I've got it right, will fit into and underneath. And remember those Spitfire propeller hubs I was just talking about? There they are in miniature form. And also, if you're building a really small Panther tank, there's a Panther rear deck. There's probably more parts from other kits on this that I haven't noticed. But we'll if I build this, I'll have a look and see what we've got now. Here's a heavily greebled. That's the top here, because that's where the R2 unit will go. And what do we have? The aforementioned wheel. They look like parts. I'm thinking they're what's it? The gun cradles for a tank, but I'm not so sure. And then we move along there. We've got the same gun cradles there. Lots and lots of greeblers. This is going to be one heck of a kit to put washers on and weather him. It's fantastically well detailed, I have to say that. So yeah, that's the Y-wing from Fine Moulds, and a very nice kit it looks indeed. I have no idea, because it was that long ago, what I actually paid for this. I just know I got it cheaper than you would have got it at that time. And I'm going to have to cram this all back, and I'll be right back with you. So, in the time-honoured manner of Lieutenant Columbo, there is just one more thing. In fact, there's two more things. And it's these. Now, it's a TIE fighter, you'll be really surprised, and an AT-AT. So, full disclosure, obviously these haven't even been opened. I've never built a Metal Earth kit, ever. But it's Star Wars, looks like fun. I might build one of these just to see how we can go with it, because I have actually got a Metal Earth Spitfire as well that you've never seen. So nothing, I don't know really what to say about these. I have no experience of them. flat metal sheets, you bend them. I've got photo etch gear to help me in that. There's a nice amount of detail on that, it has to be said. 2 metal sheets, illustrated instructions, no glue or solder needed, which I'm glad about. And this one's probably, in fact it says it there. Same thing, different kit. So I may break these out, or at least one of them, and get it built. So that concludes this video. And it just remains for me to say, have a lovely, lovely May the 4th. May the Force be with you. And don't be surprised if for some strange reason you see a Star Wars kit being built in the near future on this channel. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Thank you for your time and goodbye. If you enjoyed the videos you've just watched, here's another video you might want to watch, a playlist you might want to watch also. And please don't forget to, if you have enjoyed it, leave me a like and maybe a subscribe. I would much appreciate it. Thank you very much, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye bye.